Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review. I'm here today to talk to you about Titans Season 3, Episode 7, titled The 51%. And just like the title says, 51% of me wants to rage quit this show. I don't even know where to begin with this episode. I mean, last week's episode was pretty cool, and this episode was pretty back to the same crap. So, I mean, but at least everybody got to do something and say something. Well, except for somebody. So, yeah. Basically, after the events of last week, they want to go after Jonathan Crane and Red Hood, who I like to rename Mastermind Pothead. So, we see Crane and we see Red Hood or Jason, what do you want to call him. And so Crane, he doesn't look upset, and he just talks about how he underestimated him and how he's not Batman, and stuff like that. So then Jason takes one of the inhalers of the toxin, and he said, time for him to go to business and all this, and he takes it. But then he starts to act weird. He's all like, oh man, what you put in this thing? And then he passes out. And Crane pretty much tells him, like I told you before, I'm not Bruce Wayne. Which means, even though he's not happy with him, he is going to punish him nevertheless, or at least keep him sidelined. Now this is what's so confusing. There were tons of vials there. And Jason just so happens to pick up the one that has knockout gas in it, or like a tranquilizer type thing, or a sedative. That's it, a sedative. So he just happens to pick up that one that has a sedative in it. Like how did Crane know that he would pick the right one, or did Crane just lace all of them with a knockout component? So it's just, and then what if Jason didn't take one, and left? Then Crane would have to redo all those vials and stuff. That's bad writing. And you know how I feel about bad writing. I am allergic to bad writing. Achoo. And I don't like sneezing and coughing all the time. And it really pains me to have to be ill from bad writing. And then so Barbara wakes up because they let her know what Jason did the night before, especially with the killing of Tim Drake's parent. And so she wakes Dick up and he wakes the team up. Now, the whole Tim Drake thing, he doesn't appear in this episode. We don't know if his dad actually died or what. But yeah, they decide not to follow up on that because, once again, bad writing. And so, Dick informs them that, they have to stop Jason and Crane. They have to find them and all this other stuff. And he tells them there's a super powerful computer that can locate Crane and all this other stuff and be able to find him, something that's more sophisticated than the Bat computer. And they're all like, well, how come they haven't used it before? And that's because he said it's illegal. And he's talking about the Oracle program. So we finally get to see this thing on screen. Well, actually, tell you the truth, in some ways, we kind of got to see it on screen in the old Birds of Prey television show. But anyway, we get to see this new version. And so he telling Barbara, we have to use it, and she's all like, can't use it because the NSA said we're not allowed to use it no more, and if I use it, I'll get arrested and blah 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 blah. And it's just kind of really, that's their brilliant writing of not being able to use this program, the NSA. So somehow the NSA found out and told Batman and Batgirl, hey. Or at least told Oracle, hey, don't you use this no more. And stuff. So does the NSA know who Barbara is? Because, she became Oracle when she was in the wheelchair and stuff. Anyway, so he convinces her. And so they use it. And it's a really interesting, cool like room. It kind of reminds me of the room that the Flash has, that Gideon program. And it's like this giant thing with this symbol on it. Now I don't know in the comic book what the Oracle symbol is supposed to look like. I know there's a head and eyes, with her logo on it, but I don't know if that's the actual true logo of the actual machine. 'Cause I know in the comic books I used to always see like pictures online of her sitting in a wheelchair and just tapping on a laptop. And I know in Birds of Prey they had like holographic stuff all around her when she used it. And I know that in the Killing Joke animated movie, it was just like a room in the closet with like a computer, and that's about it. So they have kind of like this cerebral hybrid looking thing, and she talking to it and it's scanning her, and it has to use her eyes, her retinal scan. See, that's about to come in play now from last week. And then it scans Dick also, and it's a pretty friendly AI system. And you know, and I think it gets one up on them and saying something, events have happened. They're all like, well, how do you know that? And he's all like, the program's all like, you know, it's my job to update things once programmed. And so it's been surfing around the internet, like updating itself. You know what it really kind of reminds me of? Do you remember that one Batman Beyond episode where there was this rich guy with a company and he died, and he placed his brainwave activities like in the like computer on this giant like holographic thing, and it started surfing the net and started like causing all this chaos around like the city and stuff, and then it took control of like the bat suit. That was a really good episode. It's too bad they won't do nothing like that here. Anyway, so they used it to find where Crane's at, and it apparently has, and they couldn't find him the legal way, so they're like, "You want us to do it the illegal way?" And then Barbara's like, "No," and Dick's like, "Yes." So the illegal way is very similar to what happened in the Dark Knight movie, where it pretty much taps every cell phone, every tablet, every computer, every like phone line, and it finds people that way. And that's how it finds Crane. It overhears him saying he's going to be at a certain location. So Dick tells the team, and you know, it's him and it's Connor. Beast Boy, of course, stays home. And Starfire, she's gonna follow up on the lead that her and her sister have with the mob and everything. Now, let's go to Starfire and her sister for a reason. Now, they're talking and they're having dialogue, and it's really starting to see like Blackfire might not be evil. She actually might be good. And I'm just thinking, well, where are they going with this? So then they talk to like a mobster, a female one. Now, I could have sworn I heard them say her last name was Velasca, which Salvatore Velasca name, he appeared in the first episode, I believe, no, the second episode of this season. And of course, he's from, I don't know if he's from the comics, but he is from Batman, the animated movie, Batman Mask of Phantasm, where the Joker killed his behind. No, the Joker gassed him, and then Phantasm blasted him with a giant. No. Okay, wait. Joker gassed him because he tricked him, took his money, then he put him in a chair with a little recording device so he can relay the message to Phantasm. But Batman showed up, and then the Joker had a giant bomb to blow up the building, and because he thought it was Phantasm, but it was actually Batman. It took me a while, but I remember. So, but then they keep saying that her son's last name is Knox, and then her last name is Knox. So, I don't know. Maybe she was married to him or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, the old gangster lady. So they talked to her, and they just like, all right, fine, I'll make a deal with y'all. I'll tell you everything I know about Crane, but you have to bring my son here. So they go, and they go look for her son. And as they're talking, she started telling her, you know, like, they just had like a nice bonding moment, but it really sounds like she's not as evil as everyone assumed she was going to be from season 2. And so they find her son. He doesn't want nothing to do with his mom because she's a gangster, but they're like, oh, whatever. So they bring her back to him, back to her. And so he's all like, all right, look, I'm only here to, because Starfire brought me, and then boom, he gets his brains blown out by his mom. I did not see that coming at all. That was some good writing twist, 'cause I didn't see that at all. But then she explains that her son went to the FBI to turn her in their business, and she couldn't have that. But she's going to live up to her promise and, you know, tell them everything she knows about Crane because they delivered him to her. And so Starfire, it's all like the shake on my deals. And you can hear the music change. You know something's up. I'm thinking to myself, oh, well, hold on. Starfire can literally blast people with her hands, and she wants to shake. And then you see her sister's reaction. You know something's bad is about to happen to this lady. And it does. She literally sets the dude, not the dude, but the dude's mom on fire. And she kills her. And all you see is her ash falling out. What? Okay, yeah, the gangster lady had it coming. Even her sister said that. Even I agree with that. The gangster lady had it coming. But you are a superhero. You are supposed to protect people. You're supposed to imprison people. You're not supposed to kill. You know, you ain't supposed to play judge, jury, and executioner. You know, you're just not supposed to do that. And it's, once again, it's just kind of like, what is up with this show? This show does not have heroes. This show has vigilantes that are going around murdering people when they see fit. And that's not the hero way. And so this is why I'm so conflicted with this show. This is nothing but a bunch of murderers and stuff. And a bunch of people who harm their villains. Like, and I believe there's a reason for that. Because right before this show ever came out years ago, a certain movie came out. When I do the overall Titans review, because this is a broken show, I will explain why this is happening. And yeah, like there's a real logical reason why this show has the tone in which it does. There's a reason why it has the blue filter. There's a reason why it's all dark and gritty. There's a reason why the heroes are going around murdering people. And so it's Dick and Connor. They go see a van in the middle of nowhere. And so, and there's some like buildings. And so they go inside to see if Crane's in there, but they can't see because it's lined with lead. And that should have told them something right there. They open it up and there's a man by himself with a message talking about something for Dick. And he has a bomb strapped inside of him. And it's similar to the one that Hank had. And so Dick tells him disarm it. And I'm thinking to myself, just because this dude disarmed 2 bombs doesn't mean he know how to disarm this one. And what if it's not the same as the other one, you know? But he scans it and he sees that the detonation is about to blow. And he tells Dick there ain't enough time. You know, you need to get out of here now. And Dick's like, what are you talking about? And so he picks Dick up and then he tosses him hard to where Dick goes flying a couple of feet and the bomb explodes. And so Superboy is okay. His clothes are okay somehow. I don't understand this. He's not wearing special clothes. He's wearing regular clothes, but his clothes are totally okay. The writers need to explain this. And he's not even wearing his Superboy outfit. He's just wearing regular clothes. So the writing here sucks because they don't explain how the dude still has his clothes intact. Also, why didn't he just pick Dick up and run with him? He has super strength and super speed. Tossing that dude several feet in the air and like with super strength and speed could kill Dick, but Dick's okay. That don't make no sense. He should at least have some shattered bones or something, but he doesn't. It would have been more logical if he would have just super speed him away, but he didn't. And so, of course, we don't get to see the grief and pain on Connor's face letting this dude die because the writers don't care, because the writers want these characters to be soulless and everything. So it's ironic. He felt bad about Hank, and we saw how adamant he was about helping that woman. But when this dude died, he just has a slight sad look on his face, and that's it for like a few seconds. So Dick contacts Barbara, and he's all like, Crane played them. Like, I don't understand how this pothead dude is a mastermind. I mean, yeah, the actor's good. I still want to know what he did to get Me Too and have to be followed around set. He literally had a chaperone follow him around set to make sure he wouldn't do whatever it is he did, because he did it twice. Yeah, but the dude's a good actor. And so I don't understand how this dude is a mastermind. This is like Scarecrow we're talking about. And so he tells Barbara, like, hey, the dude played us and everything. And she's like, how, And he must have hacked Oracle system. Now, the photograph in which Lady Vic took of Barbara's eyes during that battle, that was for a retinal scan. I knew it. And I figured it might have had to do something with Oracle, but I didn't think he'll be able to hack Oracle, because we didn't see Oracle. So I didn't assume they would actually bring it in the show, but they did. And so, whatchamacallem? So, like, he is now in control of Oracle, and she knows that. And he now has the most dangerous, like, computer system in the world, and she does not want him to have access of it. So she tells Oracle system to self-destruct himself, to destroy himself, and the Oracle AI does. See, the thing is like this. It's been stated in this episode that Crane had some kind of like master plan about 2 years ago. This was back when they was in somewhere between season 1 and before that. So, and Dick talks about how like Batman had to use Oracle to like stop Crane and all this other stuff, because there was no other way to find him and all this other crap. So this must have happened before season 1, but if it happened 2 years ago, it should have happened within the ramps of season 1. But we don't know when the exact month of the year season 1 takes place. But Dick was gone for a good while when he left Batman. So this is why I hate when they say, oh, this happened a couple of years ago, or oh, flashback time for this happened a couple of years ago, because they never really get it right. Because if this was 2 years ago, then this would have happened sometime before season 1, but Dick had left like Batman at least a year or 2 or 4 or something like that, a couple of years and stuff. And so it's like, how would he know all these events happen? Because he didn't keep in contact with Bruce or like, Barbara and stuff, but whatever. And so he's upset with her about destroying the program and stuff. And so they had like this nice little argument and stuff. And she keeps telling him, you're sounding like Bruce, which is something a lot of people have been picking up on. The dude has been acting a lot like Batman, but yet he hates Batman so much, but he has literally become him. So back with Starfire and her sister, her sister tells her, like, don't feel bad for what you did. And that's the same reason why I did what I had to do. And she explains, and this is why now I think Blackfire is good. She said that when her sister left to destroy Trigon and never came back to the planet, they blamed her. They felt she's like the black sheep and everything, and they felt if they kill Blackfire, then Starfire will come back and rule. So her parents literally tried to kill her, and so she had to kill them to prevent herself from dying. If she is telling the truth, then that literally makes her a good person. But she is not supposed to be a good person. She is supposed to be a bad person, and she was supposed to be the villain of this season. But for some reason, they changed this around and made Red Hood and Crane the villain of this season. This whole third season was supposed to be about Blackfire and Starfire, and from and the events that happened towards the end of season 2. But for some bizarre reason, they decided to go do the Red Hood route, and they totally screwed that whole good comic book of, that is based off on and stuff. So crappy. So crappy. And so Jason, I still don't understand the dude's being controlled by Crane or not, but so far he just seems to be just hanging with him. And so, but Crane does say he has improved his toxin to where people will be more controllable. So is Jason being controlled or not? We truly don't know yet because they're dragging this out. And so, before Starfire and Blackfire left, the bodyguard dude came in because they can't get the information out the woman because she's dead, so they get it out the bodyguard. And apparently, that what's his name? Crane is gonna deploy his toxin by like thousands, and he's gonna have Gotham tear itself apart through fear. And this sounds very similar to the plot of Batman Begins. Are these people not like original? They're not. They're just copying and pasting from one source material to another. And so I forget who was in this one building that had a laptop. It was part of Crane's thing. And they determined that, oh, it's a countdown, and that he's gonna step up his plan till late on this night. So all the Titans suit up, including Blackfire. She is now officially joined the team. And so her and Connor, you can tell he's still crushing on her and everything. Aw, ain't that sweet? And so they all suit up and they go. Gar actually gets to go this time. And once again, now they finally get to wear their superhero costume. But nobody's wearing a mask except for Nightwing. And it's kind of like, how do people not know that Dick Grayson and Nightwing are not the same? Because he's constantly hanging out with the Titans. When the mob lady saw Starfire, before Starfire can introduce herself, she's like, hi, and the lady's like, oh, I know who you are. You're Starfire. You're from like the news and everything. Oh, she said that, or her son said that. I can't remember which one. But yeah, people recognize them on the street. So how do they not know Dick is Nightwing? This is just terrible writing, man. So they go there and, they beat up like, Crane's little thug dudes, and within seconds, Starfire blasts the machine that Crane stole that's supposed to make, disperse like his toxin and makes it a whole lot faster and all this other crap. And it's just like that, she walks in and she blasts it. Like that's this whole build up just for like a few seconds to get rushed. And so everybody beats up on all the bad dudes, and Crane's like, no, 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 and everything. And so, because he's all like, how did they like find me and all this other crap? Because of Mr. Mastermind, who's like 100 steps ahead of everybody, now it's getting stepped on. So he frees Jason because he had him tied up, so he wouldn't act stupid. And so he takes him on out of there. And so before all this actually happened, to tell you the truth, there was a scene with Gar, because like I said before, he doesn't do anything. But so he's literally just like walking around Jason's room talking to himself, which is something he's been doing a lot this season, just talking to himself. But he uses his ability to sniff around to see where Jason could be at something. And he sniffs around, he finds a letter. The letter had like a scent of somebody else on there. So he reads the letter, but we don't know who the letter is from. And he's like, bingo, and he leaves. He doesn't tell nobody. And then, of course, the big battle happens. And then at the end, when Dick's back in the Batcave, he's all like, Crane and Jason, they need to be stopped. He's literally saying he needs to put them down. And everybody's agreeing, and we don't see Gar's expression. So, towards the end, it's a scene with Barbara and Dick. And she tells him, like, when you was in my apartment last time, you act like you didn't want to leave. And so they rekindle what they had in the past, and they start making out. But here's the thing. What about him and Starfire? So, and it's kind of, he's making out with her in Wayne Manor, and Starfire is there. So it's kind of like, I guess that's kaput. So then the ending scene, we have Gar. He's at somebody's apartment place. He knocks on the door. She pulls a gun on him. And he's all like, Molly, is this you? I know you wrote that letter to Jason and I want to help. So it's the girl from that one episode before Jason turned into like the Red Hood and tried to kill the Joker and stuff. And so that's the episode. And I'm just like, one, this irritates me because when Dick and Connor went to go investigate Crane, they did it in their civilian clothes. Why are they always doing it in their civilian clothes? How do people not know Dick Grayson is Nightwing? This makes no sense. And then, you know, we have Starfire murdering somebody. Yes, she murdered a villain, but still, that's not what superheroes are supposed to do. Now we have Blackfire being a good girl, and she joining the team, and it's just like, why? Why? We have another female. We have Raven, who has not shown up yet. And what was the strange thing with Donna at the beginning of this season when she came to Jason in some ghost-like state? Like, what are the writers doing? They need to hurry up and tell us some answers, because this is the 7th episode, and normally these seasons normally have 10 to 13 episodes. So it's like, you know, they need to hurry up because they're running out of time. And so far, this season has been like a mixed bag for me. Like, if they would have let people, they would have took the whole Blackfire thing out from last season and had this whole thing focused on Jason and the Red Hood and explained it a whole lot better instead of dragging it out and explaining why Crane is such a mastermind. Like, geez, man, Crane seems smarter than Batman. I mean, he knew about the Lazarus Pit. He was able to find out Batman's secret by, like, you know, gaining the trust of his allies. And he had this master plan 2 years ago that only Oracle could stop. And it's just like, I'm all okay with them changing origins here and there and changing certain aspects of characters, but make it make sense. Because like I said before, the tone. Okay, so Crane, his machine runs red hot. So he had to have a cool place. And he's in one of, what's his name? Dr. Freeze's old, like, hangout places. That's supposed to be, like, ice cold. And it's like an ice cream place. And then we see one of the mob dudes eating ice cream as he's talking, trying to be all tough. That tone is all over the place, man. That doesn't make him look tough, eating ice cream and trying to be like a thug. And then towards the end, the Titans, they're like, I want some ice cream now. And then Blackfire's all like, well, did anybody grab someone? We was at the ice cream place. And I'm just like, this tone would have been okay if it would have been shown more in season 1. But just throwing it in now just seems bizarre. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.